Now that we've got our time frame for the next Nintendo Direct, we have our first Nintendo Direct leak from a reliable source, and it's about a game that you'll want to play ASAP. Plus, Sony wants to get in on Nintendo's side of the action. We got to talk about that. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Hope you're all doing awesome out there. It is a brand new day, and we got brand new news. Like I said, the first direct leak of a game that you can expect to see there. And then we got to talk about Sony wanting to make another handheld, a big rumor about what they're doing to put major power into the same space that Nintendo Switch has dominated for the last 7 years. Cooking dinner can be hard, scary, and intimidating, especially for those of us who are only qualified to cook toast. Thankfully, today's video is brought to you by HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, because they bring the ease, the speed, and the variety. I love how many different meals they have to pick from, with over 45 different dinner options, 30 plus calorie smart and protein smart recipes. If you're looking to increase your health consciousness a bit in 2024, have some better sit down time at the dinner table, or just impress your friends, family, roommates, or significant others, this is the meal kit for you. So make sure to click the link in the description or use my code POG SwitchForce free and get free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. They've got all sorts of awesome morning meals as well to go along with freaking delicious dinner time recipes. I love that this makes me feel like an actual competent cook, and the meals are absolutely delicious. So again, make sure to click the link in the description down below. Every time you do, it helps support the channel and SwitchForce, plus it's going to support you around the dinner table. Billy Coon, that is the leaker in question, talking Nintendo Direct deets. And we talked yesterday about how Special Nick is reporting that the Direct will be next week, and we know that early February is the time frame that Nintendo loves to use. So that makes sense. And now Billy Coon comes in with looking forward to an indie game of my favorite genre. My credit card will be charged in less than 15 days, so I can play it directly and without waiting. And yeah, it may be announced during one of those two upcoming events. Now, this post was made on January 26th with purple pixels. Yeah, purple pixels. What do we take from this? Well, we take his capital words, directly and without waiting. Within 15 days from January 26th would be February 10th, the end of the first full week of February, indicating that the Direct is going to, take place on February 7th. Now, without waiting indicates a shadow drop, but what the heck is going to shadow drop? Now, it's important to note that he does say it may be announced during one of those two upcoming events, and there was a recent state of play, and we know everybody's expecting a Nintendo Direct. So this needs to be a game that would release on both PlayStation and on Nintendo Switch, which really lowers down the choices. Now, the purple pixels are mysterious, and based on him saying it's his favorite genre, we know that he loves Metroidvanias. So the first guess was a lot of people saying maybe this is finally time for Hollow Knight Silksong. What a beautiful way to kick off the final year of Switch in a big Nintendo Direct, taking it from Microsoft, who most recently showed it at their summer conference, and saying, voila, we are ready to go. But I don't think it's ready to go, nor do I think Hollow Knight Silksong, after all of this anticipation, will be a shadow drop. I think Team Cherry is going to announce a release date and milk the pre-orders and milk that lead up and probably, get advertising from everybody. So I'm tossing Hollow Knight Silksong out. And then I thought Hi-Fi Rush. That's something I thought could stealth drop, and I still believe it could be part of the shadow games of the day. But action rhythm isn't really Billy Coon's favorite genre, even though it does line up nicely with both the PlayStation event and the Nintendo Direct. Not really a lot of purple in the color scheme for Hi-Fi Rush. It's more of a red and yellow game. So then we're going to go back to a different tweet from Billy Coon on January 29th. This was in regards to the state of play, and he says, looks like someone was right, indicating he knew about the state of play beforehand. I will watch it and wait maybe for that bunny. Now, what game could have a freaking rabbit? Something with a magician pulling vermin out of his hat, or Penny's Big Breakaway, featuring a main character that has rabbit-esque ears. Now you might be asking yourself, what the heck is Penny's Big Breakaway? It was announced during a Nintendo Direct with no date. It is a 3D platformer from the Sonic Mania team, and it just recently got brand new previews yesterday. It has no release date, yet got previews. We know it's coming to Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. It has rabbit ears, and it is a 3D platformer. I really believe with 95% faith that Penny's Big Breakaway is the game Bill Kuhn is referring to and is going to be shadow dropped at next week's Nintendo Direct. Now, this game is really exciting because the Sonic Mania team is a very strong team. Remember, they remixed Sonic and released a phenomenal title that did debut on Nintendo Switch, and now they've got a yo-yo wielding rabbit girl who's ready to avoid penguins. Now, I've seen previews for the title, and many are very positive, although some do indicate that this game struggles in the performance department and in the precise controls department, which are two things, unfortunately, that I think would be a major bummer for a 3D platformer. I feel like the game looks amazing, and I love the aesthetic, the creativity, and the overall positive vibes that it's received, but I do hope that between now and next week, or a day one patch, that they'll be able to tighten up the performance and tighten up the controls, because those are two things that can end up dooming the game, especially a shadow drop title, if it's not perfect at release. Although on the other hand, maybe they're shadow dropping it because they don't want it to have reviews come out before it's out. It looks great, but maybe it doesn't play exactly great, and maybe there's some poor decisions they can't really fix. Like, one preview I read noted that the camera is mapped to the D-pad, which seems incredibly antiquated and like a big misstep. So even though we're stepping in the right direction towards the Direct and towards one of the shadow drop games, I do hope that Penny's Big Breakaway can really just wrangle it in before it does drop, because this looks fantastic, and the Sonic Mania team, as I mentioned, is a very strong, creative, smart team. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd be excited to try and pick up Penny's Big Breakaway if it shadow drops with the Nintendo Direct. Bill Kuhn is a very reliable leaker. I trust this very much, but I wouldn't rule out Hi-Fi Rush as another stealth drop. Maybe they will give a release date to that game a little bit down the road, but considering that the anniversary update just happened and we've seen the red and blue t-shirts data mined corresponding to Nintendo and Sony, it makes sense that this one will be out very soon as well. But the good news is, look forward to shadow drops. It seems like the next Direct is going to be a super exciting event. Now, how excited would you be if I told you that another major platform holder is trying to get in on the handheld business? And that platform holder is none other than Sony and their PlayStation brand. They just dropped a handheld, the PlayStation Portal, which I really like and I think is the most comfortable handheld, but this is basically a streaming machine. This is a backbone with a screen, right? This just streams from your PS5 that you have to have and have to be connected to Wi-Fi. It can't do anything on its own. But what if Sony took the ergonomics and the design of this and made a new Vita, a new modern era PSP that wasn't Portal, but portable? Well, that's the big rumor we have from hardware leaker Moore's Law is Dead. Now, MLID frequently reports on rumored upcoming products from Intel, Nvidia, and AMD, and mentioned yesterday that a non-streaming PlayStation handheld that plays games natively is in the works from Sony, although it's only in the earliest stages of development. This is very important to note because we know that Nintendo is working on the next generation console, and we know that Sony just launched the PlayStation Portal. But maybe they've seen the extreme success of Nintendo and know that right now Nintendo owns the handheld space. And then here comes Valve with the Steam Deck and all these other portable PCs, and maybe Sony wants to get on the action. They did have extreme success with their PSP back in the day, even though the Vita was far less fruitful for them. The details here are that it would have a custom AMD APU, currently in the high-level design phase, at least 2 years out, and technically not fully greenlit for launch yet. So again, we're talking about something that is in the ideation stage, and they just are putting the pieces together, not literally, but figuratively in this case. Developers that Moore's Law is Dead spoke with state that it is plausible the Vita 2 could maintain backwards compatibility with all PS4 digital titles, and then for PS5 games, a pro-like patch could be applied after a bit of work and testing from participating devs. So this would be a case where the system could run PS4 and below, but would need some patches to be able to run PS5 titles. Now we're talking about a very powerful handheld, although remember, given that this is years and years out, it's not that crazy. We know that the Switch 2, based on rumors and speculation, is going to be pretty beefy, and we know that these portable PCs can run PS5 games already. So it makes sense that if Sony is getting something good to go, that they would want to tap into not just the DS Game Boy market, but the Switch market, and allow their portable to probably play many of, if not the same games. Now, the leak goes on to say that it's alternatively been suggested that the Vita 2 is in fact a PlayStation 6 family handheld, meaning it would launch alongside the PS6 as the portable option, a cheaper alternative that you could just take portably. So instead of having like a disc-based and a discless, they'd probably just have a discless and a portable. And to me, this is very interesting because then Nintendo does have a sort of direct competitor, but at the same time not. It's like a Switch Lite plus a home Switch. I'm not sure exactly how this will take shape, but Moore's Law is Dead assures us that he is 100% that there is a new PlayStation handheld in early development and that AMD has already gotten the contract for the PlayStation 6. The exact specs and details of the PS6 and Vita 2 are speculation, but will be developing as the years go on. And I do think it'd be fascinating for Nintendo to face a competitor. This most likely would inform the Nintendo Switch 3 at that point, so we don't have to worry about this for a long while. Nintendo is going to be the kings of this console space for the next few years at least, and even with the infringing portable PCs coming in hot, it's a totally different market, totally different price tier, and attempting something for a different audience, I think. Nintendo has its first-party IP, Nintendo has its ease and simplicity, and Nintendo has a big multiplayer flair with the detachable controllers and the ability to put it straight to your TV. But a portable PlayStation 6, a Vita 2, either has me excited. I think more consoles are better than less consoles, and more exciting opportunities for cool, nifty games and quirky ways to play. I mean, just look how Nintendo invented the hybrid console, and their space and the gaming space as a whole grew because of it and became more interesting, more exciting. I'm all for expansion, especially right now since the gaming industry seems to be contracting in many sad ways with all the layoffs and cancellations. It's a bummer, but this could be brighter skies down the road. So let me know what you think about the big Nintendo Direct leak with Penny's big breakaway, most likely shadow dropping, and the prospects of a PlayStation hybrid or portable to rival Nintendo Switch down the road. Let me know what you think. Would you buy both, or are you a Nintendo loyalist? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, thanks again. SwitchForce out.